Hey guys, what is up? Brendan here, aka Brenbo, bringing you guys the third video on the supercharger installation. Today, I'll be doing a lot of things in reverse, so it might be kind of repeated, so therefore I'm not going to make this video super long. A lot of it I'm going to focus on when the car actually gets started and doing some things I didn't do when I took it off. So basically like bleeding the supercharger coolant and things like that like I didn't do before. And I got to install the tune from Bama just to make it safe to drive to the dyno when that comes in the spring. So I have everything ready to go for the supercharger, meaning the supercharger is ready to be put back onto the car right now. I have everything cleaned up on the intake manifold. All gaskets are looked at, checked, cleaned. I do have to switch ejectors, the boosted pump. That will all come in the future. The injectors are super easy to change, even though I was gonna wait until I got the injectors, but I think I'm just gonna put the stock ones on for now. I might even keep them, I'm not even sure. But I just want to get this thing running. I haven't heard this thing run in like a month, I would say. So I just want to get this over with. I have all winter and I knew I would have tons of time, but I've been just itching to get this done. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna get right into it. Super easy. So I'm just going to explain the steps. Right now I have the intake manifold propped up on the coolant pipe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop in the supercharger, bolt it down, put in the coolant block, I guess you would say, and then I can therefore drop it back down to bolt the intake manifold up. I think the intake manifold's like 12 foot-pounds or 15 foot-pounds, I'm not sure. I'm actually gonna torque these, unlike the intercooler to the supercharger. And then after that's bolted down, you just have all this wiring, vacuum lines, and it's just a straightforward shot. I'm gonna say this will take me about an hour and a half or so. I'm gonna be taking breaks on and off. I might not even finish it all today, but total time to put this back together, I'm gonna say an hour and a half. So I decided to go pretty hard on the installation last night. I'll show you guys my progress. Like I said, I didn't wanna show you everything as I already showed you before, but I have the blower on, the injectors. Basically it's just wiring now and vacuum lines and putting coolant in, so it's not much. You can see new blower is in, all the bolts are torqued, fuel injectors and fuel rail are in. Those are also all the way in. I still have to connect the fuel line at the very end right there. But I have all these vacuum lines and wires that I've labeled. It can be super easy to put back together because I labeled it, and that's the advantage. And I have to put the belt on, that takes like a second. But basically this is the home stretch. Like 30 minutes ago, I would say, and I'll have this car running hopefully. So let's hope I don't run into any hiccups. I'll show you guys some progress, some time lapse, but that's about it. So voila guys, it is completely done. Like I said, it took about 35-40 minutes to put everything back together. It's just like obviously like the stock blower because it is basically a stock blower. I would say nothing really gave me troubles because I labeled everything and everything was nice and ready to go. Everything was clean. So the only thing I had left to do is put coolant in. So I already filled it with coolant. It takes the same coolant as the engine coolant, which is Motorcraft Yellow, or you can put anything you really want in, but I put Motorcraft Yellow, that's what it recommends. And what you do is to bleed this, because you have to bleed it just like the engine, is you run the relay. So you basically jump the relay for the intercooler pump. To do that, there's a box right by the intake, and you lift this box off, and right here, this right here is the intercooler pump relay, so you're gonna pull that out. So I'm gonna connect the two terminals like west to east right here with a paper clip. You're supposed to use jumper wire, but I don't have that. And what you do is when you do that, you'll hear a humming coming from the intercooler pump, and you'll see the coolant flowing in the tank, and that's how you know it's cycling. And the level should drop because it's going through all the places there's air and what you drained also. This is also going to the heat exchanger, don't forget, all the way down there. So you'll see it drop, and that's how you basically bleed it. Super easy compared to the engine. So luckily I had to drain the engine again because I already went through that. That was a pain. But I'm gonna connect the battery, and then I'll run it for you guys so you can see. Okay, it's connected. One thing you wanna make sure is you don't run out of coolant here. Also put air back into the system. So put it a little bit above the fill level. That's what I recommend. You can always drain it out after. So I'm gonna connect it right now. And as you guys can see, this was already to the top and it's already all the way gone. There is nothing in there. So you guys could hear that humming, I hope, and you could hear it just gulping it down from the reservoir. And that's what you just keep doing. You're gonna keep filling up the reservoir, keep gulping it down until you see no more bubbles coming out of the reservoir, and that's when you know it's completely good. Okay guys, so now that the coolant is bled in the supercharger, I'm just going to upload a quick Bama tune. I got it the same day, surprisingly. Usually it takes like 4 days or so. But I'm gonna upload this tune. This is just a tune to basically get me to the dyno without me even going like above 4,000 RPMs. I'm sure they say it can, but I don't trust it. So it's enough to obviously idle the car and everything. So I wanna put this on before I start it for the first time. I don't know how like revised this is, and obviously it's not like super accurate because it took them like not long to do it, but I'm still gonna put it on and then I'll start it for the first time for you guys. I'm pretty excited and a little nervous. So uploading the Bama tune right now, it does not take long at all. You just gotta turn the key on, you know, upload some files from the cloud which you requested from email, and it's already done. I've done a video on this before. When you're tuning the car, the fan goes on the highest speed possible, and then like all these lights come on and flash, and then when the mileage is, there's these dashes. So you think that something's going wrong all the time, but it's perfectly normal. So I'm about to start it. Right away, I'm gonna run out there with my phone with the flashlight on, just to make sure there's not any leaks, and hopefully it's not running bad. I know that throttle body sensor that I was talking about, that can affect it quite a bit. I think only when you're on the gas, so I'm not sure. But I'll notice right away if something's wrong. If the check engine light comes on, my scanner or my tuner can read that, so I'll look that up for sure. I just really hope the intake manifold is laying flat on the heads. That's like the only thing I'm worried about, and that will cause obviously some pretty major idling issues and throw a check engine light. So I'm gonna give it a go right now and we'll see. Also, this thing might take a while to start because the fuel is not in the injectors. I did prime it a little bit, so hopefully it starts, but if it does take a while, that's kind of the reason why. And this thing hasn't even started in general in like 2 months. It's been sitting, so well, let's see what happens. Let's hope for the best. So like right away when I started this thing, the intake was like super loud. It was like sucking in like a lot of air, I feel, and it slowly learned itself. Because now it's not like a loud whistling noise like it was. So I think it slowly learned itself. I don't know if that's the tune or just the car in general, but it seems to be running fine. There's no check engine lights or anything, so I'll just keep letting it run and see what happens. So as you guys can see, the car runs really good. When it first started, it made this really weird like bog, but after that, it was perfect. I think it was just trying to learn itself. I mean, when you have the battery disconnected for like a couple weeks, that just resets everything in general. So the clock, the radio, it just kind of makes the computer unlearn itself. So I had that going for me also. But I let it idle for about like 10 more minutes after I cut off the camera, ran perfect, no check engine lights or anything. When I drive it, there could still be a check engine light after I give it like some throttle, some more gas, some different air to fuel ratios. But so far, it's really good. You can definitely tell that throttle body sucking in a lot more air because the intake in general is just really loud. So you can definitely tell it's getting way more air. Then you got the ported blower. But that sensor I was talking about, it is adjusted a little bit off. It's idling at about, I would say 950 to 1,000 RPMs, and I would prefer it at about 8, I would say. So I think I might adjust that, but I'm kind of surprised I got it really close to how it is. I was expecting it to be at like 1,500 or so. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm happy about like how everything turned out. I'm really happy I took my time with it and it turned out amazing. But now I have to wait like 5 months for it to be spring, which absolutely sucks. But I have a lot more mods coming to keep me busy. You guys are gonna see that. So if you guys loved this video and happy that the Terminator came out good with no problems so far, give it a thumbs up, drop a like. hit the subscribe button for more future mods for the Terminator, so it's ready in the spring and gonna be a beast. I already have things in my room right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.